when you try to market your seemingly generic third-person cover-based shooter as a psychological military thriller with deep moral choices, be prepared that gamers want you to deliver on that promise. When you mention Apocalypse Now and Heart of Darkness in your PR, then be prepared that your product is going to be compared to them. Spec Ops The Line tries very hard to be about the average Gears of War blend shooter, but ultimately even an interesting story doesn't make the game's dull mechanics worth the $50 you're required to pay for it. You control Captain Martin Walker of Delta Force and give orders to your two squad mates, Lugo and Adams. You're sent on a mission to Dubai to track down and rescue Colonel John Conrad of the 33rd Infantry, also known as the Damned. The game doesn't pick up until the 5th chapter when some nuances in the story are finally being unfolded. Slowly and steadily your rescue mission falls apart, and you find more and more proof that the situation in Dubai is FUBAR.
Christ, these soldiers were massacred.
Nah, look how they're lined up. This was an execution.
Between finding dead civilians and executed American squads, the game tries really hard to make you care, but ultimately fails.
Get your licks in while you can, Agent. 33rd's on their way here right now.
The overall plot tries to emphasize the value of human life, but it doesn't work at all. When your main objective is to shoot thousands of nameless enemies, both refugees and American soldiers, you can hardly think about the value of human life when your sole purpose is taking it away. Had the game given you the option of skipping combat sequences or taking alternative paths to minimize the casualties, the gameplay would have been a lot more interesting.
You're fucking kidding, right? That's white phosphorus.
While the game progresses, your squad mates comment on your actions, as there are a few places you can make a supposedly moral decision. Is it better to save civilians about to be executed, or should you return the favor of a CIA agent that saved your lives previously?
I'm taking the shot.
Wait for your orders, Sergeant.
Now's our chance, Walker. We got an open path straight to Gould.
What about the civilians? We gotta save them.
Look, I know it sucks, but Gould's vital to our mission. The civvies aren't.
Our mission is to rescue people.
Please, Captain. We need Gould. Let me take the shot.
We can't let these people die.
Unfortunately, the choices that you make don't matter at all, since no matter the result, you always ultimately get the info you needed regardless.
What the hell is that?
A map. I think this was Gould's op plan.
You know, we can't
The one thing I really hated is how the game actually blocks you from different choices. For instance, when you're supposed to use the white phosphorus on the military camp, I actually started shooting them instead, because I thought it was a valid choice, only to find that the enemies respawn indefinitely and shoot you almost instantly with perfect accuracy and increased damage.
Reloading! Take out that goddamn sniper! Pull it out!
The gunplay feels like every cover-based shooter on the market. Spec Ops doesn't try to innovate or try anything new. It's as dull as a third-person shooter can get, with its own share of pointless turret sections and a very scripted narrative, making you wait for your allies because you can't open doors yourself.
Soldier could have led us to Conrad.
Yep. Or an ambush.
You don't know that.
True. But that's a call I made, and I gotta live with it.
Y'all stand back.
While you have the ability to give orders to your two allies, this mechanic consists of little more than concentrating fire on one guy, making the mechanic redundant.
Shit! We got company!
Adams, you're with me! Lugo, protect Gould!
You got it!
Focus on that sniper!
I got you!
Overall, it's hard to recommend Spec Ops The Line even if you're a fan of grey and brown average third-person shooters. The story, predictable as it is and not exactly innovative, is the only thing in this game that saves it from being completely rubbish. If you have nothing to do with your time, you can try it out. but with so many games coming out with the nearest months, I think it's better to save up your cash for something a lot better.